Alright class, today we're going to be talking about graphing on a coordinate plane. So this is 6.11a. And if you remember in 5th grade, you only worked in quadrant 1. So this means that you only worked with positive rational numbers. So you could still have worked with fractions and decimals, but they were all positive because you only worked in this quadrant right here. As 6th graders, we're going to be working in all 4 quadrants, which means we're going to be working with positive and negative numbers. Now let's remind ourselves what an ordered pair looks like. So an ordered pair is going to have an x and a y. It's going to be separated by a comma, and it's going to be closed in with parentheses. The x-axis goes from left to right, and the y-axis goes up and down. And anytime we're working with an ordered pair, we always want to start with the x-axis and we want to walk, and then we want to go with the y-axis and we want to jump or fly. So let's take a look at our 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1 is going to be all positive numbers. Quadrant 2, and we're working counterclockwise. Quadrant 2 is going to have a negative x, but a positive y. Quadrant 3 is going to have a negative x and a negative y. And quadrant 4 is going to have a positive x and a negative y. And I want to remind you that we always start at the origin, which is 0, 0. So this is not something new that we're learning today. We're going to add on what you knew from 5th grade, which is all quadrant 1, and we're going to be working in all 4 quadrants. Alright, so let's start by identifying where point C is at. So we're going to take what you knew from last year, and we're going to start on the x-axis, and we're going to walk over to point C, which is at 3, and we're going to fly up to 2. So point C is located at 3, 2. Let's go ahead and move out of quadrant 1, and let's try H. So this is going to be in quadrant 2, because remember we work counterclockwise, and we're going to walk over to the negative 2, and we're going to fly up to the positive 2. So it's going to be a negative 2, positive 2. So H is located at negative 2, positive 2. Now I want you to turn to your elbow partner, and I'm going to give you 10 seconds for you to figure out where point B is located at. So we're trying to figure out point B. I'm going to give you 10 seconds, and go. Alright, your 10 seconds is up. And if you're sitting at a desk with a prime number on it, if you'll stand, please. And if you were a car rider to school today, stay standing. And if you are the largest prime number standing, if you'll give us the ordered pair for point B, please. Alright, Heather, great job. That's going to be a negative 4, negative 5. So you walked over to the negative 4, and you flew down to the negative 5. Excellent job. Let's do another one. And you're going to work with your elbow partner again. So I'm going to give you another 10 seconds. You're going to discuss where point D is at. So this time we're dealing with point D, and point D is going to be in quadrant 4. right, that was about 10 seconds. This time, if you have the word evaluate on your desk, stand up. And if you also have a composite number on your desk, stay standing. Alright, Mark, can you tell us what point D is located at? Excellent. Point D is located at 6, -2. Excellent job. Okay, so I'm going to add a point on here that's not currently on here, and we're going to call it point Y. So I'm going to put point Y right here. And I'm going to give you 10 seconds to work with your elbow partner, and I would like you to come up with the coordinates for point Y. Alright, so let's talk about point Y. Point Y, when we try to find the X value, doesn't land on a whole number, which means it could either be a fraction or it could be a decimal. So let's figure out both. If it falls between 2 and 3, what could it possibly be? Let's see if you're sitting at desk number 10. Excellent. It could be 2 1/2. Now, what is 2 1/2 as a decimal? And remember, this is one that we should already have memorized. Good. 2 5/10. Now, let's talk about our Y value. So, Y-axis, we're not going anywhere. So, what would our Y-axis be? Excellent. It would be 0. Great job. Alright, so let's do some practice with a partner. Now, this would be a great time to do the I have, who has that is provided for us, or just any kind of practice that you have. So I would give them about 20-25 minutes to work, and then I would be walking around at this time seeing who's struggling. But there is a really good I have, who has that has lots of fractions involved in it, and you can always turn those fractions into decimals. The last step would be an exit ticket. I would have them complete this on a sticky note. It says, if I were to plot the point -3 5/10, 5, what quadrant would I end up in? Explain your answer in a complete sentence, and I would have them stick it on the door on the way out of class with their name on it.